It is Wednesday, October 6th, and this is Jury Duty, and we are talking Survivor 41. Okay, number of things happened this episode here. So let's just start from the top, if you want. I found it to be interesting and slightly annoying, actually, that Leanna was crying over not playing the game hard enough because she's such a super fan. Like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't even pay attention to what day it was because I didn't think anything memorable was going to happen that soon. So, like, what was it, day like 5 or 6? And we're already crying about not playing the game enough?
To be fair, not getting Xander out was dumb. But, like, not to cry about it.
I think it was dumb, too. You know that he has all these things, even if it's not activated. He's got all this stuff going on. Get him out when you can. And Voce, I mean, he wasn't really, like, making any waves or anything. There was no reason to get him out. So, kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
I was just going to run down my notes. But, like, in chronological order, just because I was going in order, but I don't want to skip anybody else's stuff. So, like, I mean, if you got something after, like, Liana, the next thing I had was Tiffany and Evie finding the advantage and sharing it with the. There's only 4 people on your team. You just told the whole team.
And this is what I was saying last time we were talking about this: is why is everyone so free to give up what they got?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
And I defended it last time. I cannot this time. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
This
is too much.
It is funny that I know we're going in chronological order, but it's funny that we're talking about this. It's funny that we're talking about this now, and then we're going to get to a point where keeping it from your team might have backfired for somebody. You know what I mean? The with JD later on in the episode. So
I would argue though the problem wasn't he kept it from his team. The problem was he was too stupid to hide it correctly.
Exactly. And like, for somebody who is such a self-professed like super fan of Survivor, like you're really doing a number of things here to make yourself a target, and I think you'd be a little smarter than like what like we're seeing here.
Well, especially with him saying then later on, like, oh, like when you have advantages, you're not supposed to tell people. Well, then hide it better, you idiot.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, oh, now I have to come clean. Like, it honestly would have been better if you didn't even say I have to come clean. You'd be like, okay, I'm just going to tell you I messed up and what a mistake I made. Like, I think you might have actually gotten a little bit more respect from Shan had you kind of like taken that approach.
Yeah.
But I want him out so bad, though. I find him to be very annoying. That was an entire bullet point that I had. That was the next one. Was JD is annoying. So I don't even know why I wrote that. At least in that moment,
right?
Other than I don't think I need to know why. It's just kind of just like the underscoring theme I feel of the Uwa tribe, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody's going to defend him. All right, sorry, JD.
No,
I paused. I gave you a shot.
I'm sure we'll get there, but like I feel like Brad in this episode summed up his game pretty spot on. I'm just like he keeps overselling and underperforming.
Yes.
Like he's just very much like I'm this great player. Here's all these things I can offer, and then he just doesn't.
The way that he was throwing the sandbags towards the platform, like
he was in the NBA.
Yes, that would have pissed me off so much. The only way that I would have found that acceptable is if you were nailing it each and every time.
Right.
Otherwise, you're playing games and now you're messing with my flint. Like
it's not even like he was trying this crazy move and it was coming so close every time. Like it wasn't even close.
It was like way off. Yeah. You're just a kid just having a good time, and nobody has time for that.
All I wrote was, "What is JD doing?"
It was a mess. Oh my god.
But
so my next thing. All right, so Brad finding the advantage that I guess we can get into that a little later because that now doesn't even matter at this stage in the chronological order. Okay. Yeah. But Sydney throwing Nasir under the bus.
Uh-huh.
I had mixed feelings on. Like, okay, like I understand, like we want to get like a target out, like somebody who is obviously better than us. But like you just said just a couple of days ago, because I'm not even going to say last week because it wasn't a week. Right. So like you just said a couple of days ago, technically that like, oh, we were going to give him the boot, but now we don't want to because we realize we can't live without him. Yeah. Now you're like, oh, we've learned enough. We can just get rid of him now. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like that's weak. Just be honest about what's going on here. Like you want to get rid of him because he's playing better than you. And like, you know that he's going to win against you when this merge inevitably comes, you know? So like, I don't know. Just be honest about it. You want him out because he's better than you. Not for any other reason other than that. He's not grating. He's not annoying you. He's just better than you.
So we had and then we had for Luvu, Sydney was the one that found the advantage, and those are the three players from each team.
That sucks. But okay, yeah. So Sydney won. Off she goes.
I enjoyed them all sneaking out of camp.
They were so dramatic about it.
Yeah. They're so dramatic about it when like most of their teams already knew. Like, so like I didn't think all that was necessary.
Again, everyone's just sharing everything they got.
Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes they were finding some of these things together, right? Because that's
different.
Right.
That's different.
It was one of my notes because Tiffany found her thing and she shared it with Evie because she was there, and then. Now she's saying that Liana was right there, but she was off camera. We don't know how close she was, so I have to assume the way that Tiffany. All right, I was slamming her Monday night, but there's something about her that is fun, at least as a viewer.
Yeah.
She's good TV for sure.
Oh, she's definitely good TV, and she's playing the game. I think somebody like her probably should. Yeah. Because she's not going to win any of these comps. She's not going to be strong. When the merge happens and we're looking at individual immunity, she is never going to win it. So she needs to be playing a hard social game and taking these risks where she can. So I think she's playing smart, like in that way. I kind of wanted her to steal the vote. I thought that was interesting that she was on that little trip and then she was kind of talking to everybody.
Yeah,
that direction and like trying to make sure that she was one of the people that stole the vote, and then she ended up like not doing it.
Right. I thought she was going to steal. That's what I thought.
I thought she was too. Yeah, I was disappointed in that.
When she opened it and said like, oh, there's nothing here. For a second, I was like, wait, didn't you steal? I like forgot. Yeah, for a second, I didn't even realize what had happened. I was like,
yeah.
It's like, is there a steal a vote just sitting
she was
in there?
Like, oop, no tarp. I was like, why would you have a tarp?
Although in her defense too, though, like that would work well for what I think she needs to accomplish. If she had gotten the tarp, that certainly helps towards her social game. Mm-hmm. Like. Because you're not contributing in any other way. So at least if you went on this thing and you came back with a tarp, like, okay, all right.
Yeah. It's like, okay. I'm not doing well in the comps, but I'm still contributing to the tribe in ways that I can. Like, she's still finding ways.
I'm still trying. Yeah, I'm still doing a little something here.
Though she did okay, I thought, this time. compared to that last one.
Yeah, she had her struggles, but I certainly can't slam her for that. I certainly couldn't get across a rope, hang on to all the ropes. No. So, like, fine. So, good job for her.
I can't even swim. I'd be down for the count in this freaking full challenge. Like,
I did chuckle, though, at her just kind of, like, just flopping off the platform, though.
Yeah.
Because she didn't jump off, and she didn't hop off. She just sort of, like,
dropped.
Just threw herself off. Yeah, like that was fun. That was fun. I no longer am rooting for her to go. I actually was super happy that Yasa did not lose this challenge.
Me too.
Yeah, I cheered. Really, I didn't care who lost as long as it wasn't Yasa. Especially because then we know that Xander was going to go, and I don't know, people going home just for that reason, just because they shared too much. I think that stinks.
Yeah,
that's not so fun. That's kind of a hard watch, in my opinion.
Well, I think it becomes it makes the show boring then too if the same team's losing every week and they're the ones losing a player. Like, I mean, even now when we look at, like, I just pulled up the tribes, like who's still left. Like Luvu hasn't lost anybody. Ua and Yasa have both lost 2 players. So, you know, at least you have multiple teams losing people. But I want to see people, tribes losing people, you know, different tribes every week losing people. So
yeah, they're gonna force like a if not a merge, like some kind of a swap or like a blending or something to even everything out.
Yeah.
Like if one more person goes, because what Luvu's now going to have to set out 2 again.
Yeah.
And then what?
Right.
Now they're sitting out 3, which is really half the team, and then 1 from the other team. I don't know. It's going to start getting a little crazy.
And it does. Yeah, and it gives you. It really does, because you get to choose which players don't compete for you, right? Like that's what it's. And like if it was more like a random draw thing, like that would be one thing. But I feel like each tribe has their weaker and stronger players, and if you have a tribe that now gets to sit out 2 or 3 of their weaker players, you know, they get to choose like their strongest lineup to go against whoever's left in these other tribes. It's kind of like this. It's a weird, unfair advantage, I feel like, in a lot of ways. I guess that's why the game has these other things in place, though, to even it out.
Yeah, to even it out. Yeah. I enjoy some of those mismatchy things because they don't last too long, like in the grand scope of the game. So I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did want to ask, this wasn't a note of mine, but you know, my manager the other day was talking about Jeannie and how she seems to not have any touch of what's going on here with her random vote for Ricard, and now her flarningly aligning with Brad, who is now
flarningly.
So, like, what do we think this means for Jeannie's game now going forward? Okay, this is somebody who now she kind of saw herself aligned well with somebody who had like multiple advantages. Now all advantages have now left. Her number 1 is gone. Miss Jeannie could be in trouble if Ua goes down again.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Shan has been such like an integral part in these, you know, and how this has all gone. Both times that Ua has lost somebody, and at this point, the way that Shan and Ricard are working together, and the way that they both seem to feel like they've got JD just in their back pocket, that makes me feel like if Ua has to go to the tribal council again, Jeannie's in big trouble.
She's in big trouble.
Ricard's also called her out already too, just in this last tribal. Was like, nah, not this one.
Right.
But it's funny because if Shan did have any inkling of like switching that vote up, we could be having a very different conversation. So.
And the thing about that, too, is that I think it would actually be wise for maybe people to start looking at Shan. She's too involved. I don't know. She's like you said, she's always that person that's making this decision. And now that JD gave her his extra vote, what was that? Like, all right, she knows about it. Just like, fine, she knows about it. But like, I don't know that you need to give it to her. I secretly wanted her to use it to get him out. It's been so delicious. Nice. And she still can. Boy, would that be yummy.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I feel like I'm still learning so many of these rules. And I was wondering, like, now that is this like a safekeeping thing? Or is this like, I can use this however I want now?
Right,
like,
I didn't know if she was able to use it, if she had it on her, or if it was just like, I'm giving you the information or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. It did when... This is all new.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody knows. It seemed
like he was giving her the vote, basically.
That's what it seemed like. That's how I felt about it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I felt like it was kind of a done deal.
That's what it sounded like when he said it. He was like, I'll give it to you right now. And she was like, if you want me to hold on to this. And I was like, wait, so what is it? Which one is it? Yeah. Is this yours now? Or are you just like...
Yeah, and she may not have known when she said that either.
Yeah.
Maybe she had to check for production. Is this mine? Like, is this my vote? Like, what is this? Or is this just like a useless piece of parchment? Oh, this is another bullet point of mine. Would you have said your phrase again if you were Xander? I would not have.
I don't think. I don't think I would have either.
Unless you.
I was going back and forth on it.
Like, do you? And that's what's still unclear to me. Like, do you have to say it each time, or is it that
all three of them have to say it at one
together,
of them, and that's how it gets.
Right.
Yeah,
But
all three of them have to say it.
Do the phrases need to be said each time you go to the immunity challenge, or can you just like not say it? Because
I don't know, because it looked Brad's saying it said at the next immunity challenge, so I'm not sure.
Right. And I guess we'll get the true answer to that next week.
It seemed like Jeff had sort of like guided that along. I don't know, maybe
he
the
did
editing.
because he went to yes.
He
and
went
I
to
don't know that I would have
immediately.
liked that if I was Xander. Like
Yeah.
that would have annoyed me a little bit because now you didn't even let me naturally say it. You kind of like went to me, and then after you called me, I then had to say this phrase that is so very specific, and I just said it last time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which in the scope of what they're doing was just a couple of days ago. So like,
yeah, they're gonna be like, why does this guy keep talking about butterflies?
Yes, like why does he keep saying that? And like not just butterflies, but so specific, like being dead relatives. Like
Right.
it's so like I don't know. Like this advantage sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
it seems so messy. Like
by the time it's activated, you'd be eliminated.
If you have one of those sheets, like one of those pieces of paper, like what all three lines are. So if I'm Xander, I'm thinking, okay, Brad just said that. I know that line. Let me see if somebody else says the other one.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
But yes. That's not, like what the moment Brad found it, he was like, oh, Xander said that. Like we straight up know he's got one.
Mm-hmm. Which the thing about that too now is that now Jeannie knows. Jeannie knows what that is. I don't think Brad shared. No, that's not true. He shared it with Shan. He shared it with Shan. So she knows these phrases also. Yep. So even though people don't necessarily have it, people are now getting to know information because of this thing.
And also, who is it? Evie and someone else knows about it because Xander shared it with two people from his team.
Right. So now they've heard that Brad said it, and now they know that Brad has it, which doesn't really matter now, though, because Brad is totes eliminates. Yeah. But now anytime anybody else says it, though, they know.
Right, because he didn't just say, I have to keep saying this phrase. He straight up showed them the paper, so everyone was reading along. So everyone knows all the phrases,
I think this advantage sucks.
I think they're being dumb about it.
Yeah. It's funny because Luvu is probably the only ones being like, what the hell are these people talking about? Because they haven't found theirs. And like we were just saying, right? Like Brad, Jeannie saw it, so like people on his team know exactly why he's saying that line. Like Evie told Tiff and Liana, so they know exactly why he's saying that line. So everybody's filled in except for Luvu. They're the only ones being like, what the hell are these people talking about?
Because was it someone from Luvu? Because Evie went on that trip last episode with...
Oh, that was Deshaun.
Because she told him that Xander has the idol, but did she disclose the specifics of it? I don't remember.
Did she describe it, the phrases? No. I feel like she mentioned that they had to say the phrases together. I don't know that she told them what they were.
Right.
Assuming if she even remembered it, and she only read it once.
Right.
But I guess that would be the only person on Luvu then that would at least have a clue as to what that is.
Yeah.
But I guess even he wouldn't totally have a clue as to what that was until like at least happened one more time. Like he'd have to hear those phrases like more than that. I don't know. If you don't know what to listen for, do you know like what you're listening for? Like, yeah. What else do we have here? I had a note about the crystal metaphor. JD and his metaphors are so annoying.
It was that, and it was what was the other thing he was talking about?
The mosquito bite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are you?
Oh my gosh!
Speaking of riddles to me right now.
Can we just get rid of him so we can just stop with these metaphors? Like everything about him, I'm just finding these so irritating.
I expected there to be some like good discussion in this deliberation, and the only note I wrote was JD talks about crystals.
Literally speaking in riddles. I was like, what are you saying right now?
Yeah, I literally said JD gives an extra vote to Shan. Crystal metaphor played. Vote him out so the metaphor stop. Mosquito bite annoying. And Brad eliminated. I'm not surprised Brad's gone. He was doing too much too fast. And they were already sort of talking about him anyway. I mean, JD.
And again, he showed all his cards. He has 2 advantages.
Yeah, he just made himself even more of a target. Yeah.
If you already didn't like him and now he has 2 advantages, bye.
Yeah. I think he could have been okay if he went to Shan and was like, look, I have this one advantage and I want to share it just with you. But now you start pulling something else out, and then you got, like, if you had that one advantage that you bring to Shan and you're very honest with it, and then right after that you find out JD's got something, tucked in his pants or whatever that he didn't tell you about, maybe that can make you feel like, oh, I'm going to trust Brad. But the minute that Brad's like, oh, I got this, I got that, I got here, like.
Yeah.
And you've told other people about it.
Yeah.
Oof. But that's all I got.
I think that's all I had too.
Yeah. I think for next week, Yasa, I still think we have Xander in trouble. Unless they do win the immunity. Slash, which would actually be even more exciting if Luvu gets their act together, finds their idol, things get activated, and Xander is able to use
now someone has to find it.
Oh, that's right.
Again.
Somebody now has to find it from Ua. However, the thing about that, though, is like what I think we have said this before. So now that we know that it was out there and the person went home, we know it gets re-hidden. Mm-hmm. These people are going to know that. I feel like this season is full of like super fans. Yeah, like people who really know this. I feel like they're going to go out and go look. Because Brad, once he told Shan, I feel like everybody just knows. Because he told Shan and there was somebody else he told. Oh, and Jeannie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to go out. And I cannot believe that Shan didn't tell Ricard.
I mean, I feel like she will now.
Oh, for sure. If she didn't already. Because she sure ran to go tell him about when he went to go run down the seashore to go listen. She couldn't wait to tell that. So there's no way she didn't tell about this double advantage thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think somebody will find it. I think that'll get found.
I really want Luvu to find theirs too.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think Xander's in trouble if Yasa goes down. Who would be the next to go on Ua?
I think most likely Jeannie is in the most trouble on that team.
Yeah.
And
an argument can be made for JD though, because he's ruffling a lot of feathers and people don't trust him.
It really depends, Jeannie, I think. Yeah.
Jeannie could make an argument that she'd be like a good vote because what choice does she have? She has to just go with whatever somebody tells her. She's got to go with the numbers because she has no choice.
I could see it going both ways, but I do think there is a better case for keeping JD because they feel like they have him in their pocket.
Yeah.
Because they have this like information, like he like lied to them and they outed him and like all of this information that he's now like kind of indebted to them.
Mm-hmm.
That I could see them wanting to keep him around maybe a little longer.
Except that he also gave them the vote already. So like,
well,
like there's that too. Like, you know. Yeah. But JD or Jeannie for sure. I don't know what to think of Luvu. Now, the next week's little promo or whatever kind of made me think that there could be some crosshairs on Sydney.
Now, I was curious when I watched that preview because, and this is more a Kyle question than anything else. Because everything is so like team oriented right now, how is someone able to throw challenges? Because they made some kind of comment of like, Deshaun wants to throw the challenge, and it's like, yeah, but that puts his whole team in danger. And if you're the one that threw the challenge, like I don't know how that
you have to get everybody on board. You have to get enough people on board to throw it.
But what's the benefit of throwing it?
Voting out somebody specific,
right?
Losing to remove somebody.
And I guess that's still a big risk. I guess if that person ends up having an idol or something, right? But I guess that would be if everyone wants to work. If you want to work in concert and say, "Listen, we're gonna lose this. It sucks. We'll lose our Flint, but we're all voting out this person, so it's worth it." You know,
right? And that's a different thing this season too, because you don't have the threat of losing like your Flint in other seasons. So it's like, okay, like this person really sucks. They're kind of pissing me off, or they're not contributing. They're not working as hard as everybody else. Let's get rid of them. It's like dead weight. So let's just make sure we lose. We're all on the same page, right? We're gonna get rid of this person, and then off they go. So that would be the benefit. But see, this here, I don't know now, because you're losing your Flint too. but you're also not going as many days in between. In other seasons, it's like a 3-day turnaround until the next immunity challenge. This is way accelerated. So,
do you think? I mean, I know it's such a low percentage, but do you think that like the shot in the dark will cause any of these tribes to hesitate if they do have that in mind, where we're going to throw a competition so we can target someone? Will they still have this shot in the dark? Who knows if they have an idol? It's like there's multiple chances that your whole team could be screwed over.
Yeah.
It's very risky.
That's why I was like, why would anyone take that chance?
Right. Yeah, I think it's very risky, especially like this early. Like, wait for the merge and just wait for them to not win individual immunity. But then if you think that they're at like the head of some kind of campaign to get rid of you before you even get to a point of getting to the merge, then yeah, it's tricky. And we haven't seen enough from Luvu to really like know what's going on over there. Like other than like the rumblings about Nasir, and like we've only seen like good things kind of coming from over there. So
it's so funny because like there's multiple times where I've been like, wait, who is this person on Luvu? Because we've gotten so much more dialogue. We've learned so much more, I feel like, about Ua and Yasa, because we see them talk, we see them deliberate, we see them vote each other out. Like Luvu, it feels like we've seen like a little snippet of Luvu at the beginning of the episode, then we see them in the competition, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But we've gotten a lot more screen time so far, I feel like, from Ua and Yasa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just because it's so early on. Like we're gonna get to know these people real nice.
Yeah.
It's just weird that it feels like, we're at like the third elimination technically, and we don't know these people. By the time we get to like the third elimination in Big Brother, like we've really spent some time with these people. It's weird to not know them, and it affects like how you look at the week ahead and how you like predict things, because it's like, I don't know these people still. I don't know. Is there anything else anybody would like to add? Episode 3, Survivor 41.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I think. Look, I looked over my notes. I feel like all the stuff that we talked about is I think that's it.
Yeah, we covered everything. We covered everything nice. What do you guys think of these the challenges though? It's kind of a different season too, because like a lot of times you get 2 different ones. Like you get like a reward challenge, and then you get like the immunity challenge. You get to see 2 games. This time we're only getting to see 1. Maybe when they go to the merge, maybe we'll get something different. But aren't these challenges kind of cool? Like they're definitely like way more intense than anything we see on the
I would be terrible at every single one of them.
Oh, awful! Like just the absolute worst. The only thing I could probably do well is a puzzle. And
I know, it's so easy for me to sit here and be like, Tiffany sucks, but I would be 1,000 times worse.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sitting on my couch, like, like having a glass of wine, like, boo, Tiffany. Like, meanwhile, like, I know full well I couldn't do half the stuff these people are doing.
Yeah, I enjoy the challenges. I do. I think they're good.
I also like the colors of the teams. Yeah. Like, those particular shades, like, I don't know, like, they're just light enough. And it's just very pleasing. Like, and when you look back at old seasons, I think you'll agree. Like, they have beautiful shades of like purples and oranges and things that like just very nice to look at.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to take a look and go back and go see what I'm talking about.
That was silly.
So what do we have the week coming up here? Monday at 9:30. We're chatting about the first episode of Big Brother Over the Top. We're finally diving into that.
Excited.
I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited. Tommy's going to be watching with us too. He's pumped. We're going to watch it tomorrow. Nice. And then what else? In the same episode, we'll be talking about the Challenge 37, since that was on during Survivor.
Yep.
We missed it. But yeah, that's it. Great. How exciting. And then we'll be back here next Wednesday at 9:15.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to add?
I don't think so. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Okay. No. All right. We're done. All right. Thanks. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. This has been Jury Duty.